Yo, this situation with Venezuela is getting crazy. It's getting a little. It's getting scary. So check out really quick what Marco Rubio had to say regarding Venezuela. Then we're gonna check out some news that just hit that I believe was probably the reason that they put out this Jeffrey Epstein 33,000 pages of nothing was probably to distract from this.
The president is going to be on offense against drug cartels and drug trafficking in the United States. It destabilizes not just the country, but the entire Caribbean basin. These particular
Caribbean
drugs are
basin.
probably headed to Trinidad or some
Remember
other
that.
country in the Caribbean, at which point they just contribute to the instability these countries are facing. So the president's been very clear.
It's funny how he just doesn't talk about the way that the U.S. is contributing to all the destabilization that those countries are facing, but whatever.
He's going to use the full power of America, the full might of the United States, to take on and eradicate these drug cartels, no matter where they're operating from and no matter how long they've been able to act with impunity. Those days are over. The president.
Okay, so look at what he just said. Now look at what just happened. The U.S. military carried out a strike on an alleged drug vessel in the Southern Caribbean, killing 11 members of the Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang, allegedly, right? Which Washington labels as a Maduro-backed narco-terrorist organization. Yeah, that's not small potatoes, y'all. First of all, Tren de Aragua, they're not linked to Maduro. I cannot repeat this enough. They don't like Maduro. They don't like each other. That group is constantly at odds and has worked with the right-wing opposition party to overthrow Maduro on numerous occasions. But this boat, we don't know. This is what the claim was. But the U.S. going full tilt and literally blowing up a fucking boat in the Caribbean after Mark Rubio was like, yeah, man, we're going to go up. He brought up the Caribbean. Like, yeah, we're going to use whatever force we have to. We can't confirm independently at the moment if that was really Tren de Aragua. We don't know. It's probably not, to be completely honest with you, because I can't see a situation or circumstance where they would be able to get off. Y'all have to remember this context, right? Venezuela, Maduro specifically, is on high alert. They just called up 4 million guardsmen. They have drones flying everywhere. They're waiting for the U.S. to pop off. Why would they then let a boat leave the shore full of Tren de Aragua operatives, gang members, to ship drugs to the U.S. or other parts of the Caribbean, while Trump is actively looking for an excuse to attack Venezuela because of that very motivation? That makes zero sense. For all we know, especially given how often the U.S. loves to lie about who they attack and why they attacked them and who was part of the crew, that could have just been some random ass group of Venezuelans just on a boat. It could have been a random group of whoever, honestly. But we do know that the fact the U.S. came out and was like, yeah, it's Tren de Aragua. Y'all got to remember, didn't we just witness them lie extensively about members or people who are living in the U.S. that were Venezuelan? They just lied extensively, calling them members of this gang and then sending them to El Salvador. And they had nothing to do with the gang whatsoever. And now they're like, yeah, we're blowing up boats in Venezuela, off the coast of Venezuela. And it's this gang, again, conveniently. I need y'all to know. This video of Nicolas Maduro calling out Marco Rubio in the United States is extremely revealing, because look at the way that the U.S. is engaging and interacting with Venezuela and Maduro. Like, they're an imminent threat. Like, the accusations of drug trafficking that Venezuela is allegedly participating in are so egregious that we can't even try to resolve this issue peacefully. Work together to eliminate the trafficking issue, while the U.S. simultaneously holds conversations with the president of El Salvador, excuse me, the president of Ecuador, and Ecuador is notorious for trafficking drugs into the U.S. Notorious for it. Check this out.
Sobre la gira que anuncia el jefe del gobierno de Estados Unidos, el jefe de la guerra, Marco Rubio, que ha asumido funciones presidenciales y que hace, amenaza, deshace y que ha mayamizado la política exterior en el peor sentido extremista de los Estados Unidos hacia América Latina y el Caribe, tengan la seguridad que él no viene a nada bueno. Tengan la seguridad, absoluta seguridad. Y esperemos para ver con qué nueva barrabasada sale el jefe del gobierno de Estados Unidos, Marco Rubio, a hablar. Y qué nueva guerra abre. Él va a Ecuador. Debe saber que en Ecuador, ese gobierno que él va a ver, que lo impusieron con un fraude ellos, manda el 60% de la cocaína que se produce en Colombia, lo manda a Estados Unidos, a su país. Él debe saber.
Check that. Read that again in case you didn't see it.
Lo impusieron con ese gobierno que él va a ver, que lo impusieron con un fraude ellos, manda el 60% de la cocaína que se produce en Colombia, lo manda a Estados Unidos, a su país. Él debe saber
60% of the Colombian coke that's sent to the United States is produced in Ecuador. That's what he said.
Que ese presidente, Daniel Noboa, que él va a ver, trabaja con la mafia albanesa.
The president works with the Albanian mafia.
De la mafia de tráfico de drogas. Las empresas de Daniel Noboa, no lo digo yo, lo dice la Unión Europea. Lo dice la Organización Mundial de Lucha contra las Drogas. Las empresas de Daniel Noboa, que es de una familia exportadora de banano, han sido encontradas como traficantes de droga hacia Europa. Los bananos le meten cocaína.
Bruh, President of Ecuador, the company that his family got rich from, is using bananas to help traffic cocaine to Europe. Now, we all know y'all know the history of like Chiquita, right? Y'all know about the Banana Republic, which is a whole different conversation, but y'all know. If you don't know, do some research about it because I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but this would not be surprising at all. It shouldn't be considered surprising to anybody. And Ecuador is notoriously corrupt. Oh man, it is corrupt as shit. That president is corrupt. Nicolas Maduro is basically saying, yo, like, this man is maintaining positive relations with the president of Ecuador, knowing everything that they're doing, knowing the coke that they're shipping into the U.S., knowing the coke that they're shipping over to Europe, knowing all the bad shit that Ecuador is involved in, and the fact that this man's company is directly attached to it. But y'all want to send boats and military to my country when almost none of the trafficking in the United States has anything to do with Venezuela. It's almost as if this has nothing to do with drug trafficking. Just like the troops that they put in D.C. has nothing to do with crime. Just like the troops that they're threatening to put in Chicago has nothing to do with crime. Because if it had to do with crime, then they would be where? In Memphis, where the number one, like they have the highest rates of crime. It's the number one city with the highest rates of crime. But it's in a red state. And the midterms are coming up. And you can't piss off the Republicans that you need to win because you don't want to lose the House. You don't want to lose the Senate. So in a situation like this, is it really about drugs? Or is it about that black gold? Or is it about the fact that Russia and Venezuela have an immaculate relationship now and just created an economic deal with one another that is going to absolutely benefit Venezuela and Russia, obviously, and by extension, China, because China is already the lithium king. And if they maintain their positive relationships with Russia and Venezuela, now all of a sudden you can't leverage your oil supply and the control or lack thereof of oil from other countries against their lithium. You're just out there butt ass naked. And I'm telling you, I will continue to say it, the U.S. does not want to go to war with Venezuela. We cannot win. Y'all, let's look at this flashback real quick. Y'all want to see what happened last time they thought that they could just pull up on Venezuela? I actually told this story the other day on the show. And my man's Greg helped us find a video. This really happened. Look what happened last time the U.S. decided we're going to try to do some secret operation in Venezuela.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro says 13 people, including 2 Americans, are in custody for trying to oust him.
Yo jugando al Rambo, al héroe.
6 people were killed during the failed incursion Sunday, according to Venezuelan officials. The armed men were intercepted trying to enter Venezuela by boat from Colombia. Silvercore USA, a Florida-based security firm, claimed responsibility for organizing the attempted invasion. The company is run by Jordan Gaudreau, a former Green Beret.
Yeah, that's what happened. They thought it was going to come into they thought it was going to come out on some Delta Force shit and got Delta. Those are they got caught by fishermen that are a part of the militia. For real, like that's what happened. Y'all didn't even hit their real military. That's why I keep talking about, they got 4 million militia. Somebody tried to call Maduro pussy on my Twitter. They were arguing with me. I'm like, yeah, he's a pussy that 4 million people are literally strapped and ready to protect. If he's such a pussy, why you know how hard it is to get 4 million people to be like, yeah, I'm down. Let's go. Let's go right now. Let's do it. Trained. You ain't got 4 million. Yeah, you might have 4 million people in the U.S. somewhat trained to use a gun. They're not trained to engage in military operations at the drop of a dime. That is not the same thing. And that is not in addition to the military that is already active. And that is their full-time job in Venezuela. I keep saying, like, bro, we don't even have, I don't even think we have like 400,000 or 500,000 active duty or something like that. It might have changed recently. But I know that recruiting has been trashed for quite some time in the U.S. And we're already overextended. So we don't even have, if we put every single active duty troop in Venezuela, we still couldn't win. So they're like, oh, what about weapons? We got more advanced weapons. Oh, you think that? They just found out the other day that Venezuela has advanced drones that they've had in the U.S. just didn't know about it until they found out. I'm dead ass. Like, they're like, oh shit, Venezuela has drones? Yep, sure do. They surely do. Advanced drones. When did they get that? That's none of your business. That's none of your business. Why would we tell you that? Where did you get them from? Probably Iran, probably China, probably Russia. A little bit of everybody. Why? Because all those countries know exactly. We've seen how y'all operate. So now, think about this. When the U.S. sees that if Venezuela has more advanced weaponry than they originally had thought, how do you think the U.S. is going to react? They're going to do the same thing they always do. Oh, shit, well, let's take a step back. Let's think about this real quick. Let's maybe hold off before we just do a full scale. Yeah, you definitely should. Because did I not tell you guys, this is exactly what happens every single time. They do this flex. They do these military exercises. They put these boats out there. They say, we're going to launch 4,000 Marines, and then what happens? They see the actual capabilities of the country they thought they were going to fuck with because they believed that we were still in 1960 and not 2025. They put on some show as if they're actually going to pop off, but they never do. So they just cry wolf, say the sky's falling, and then run away. And I've said, how many times do you think you're going to be able to get away with that before everybody catches on? And if you just looked between the meetings with Putin, Xi Jinping, Maduro, what Iran has said this week, talking about the fact like, yeah, man, like if Israel can pop off if they want to, we got some for their ass. Everybody, literally everybody who does not fuck with the West has been on some this whole last week, bro. Since the weekend, really even before that. Everybody is like, we wish y'all would. Y'all ain't shit anymore. We all know it. You can't bluff us anymore. And look, and now, not only can y'all not bluff us individually, but we've all figured it out together and we're working together to make sure that if you even think that you are what you claim to be, we will remind you that you're not. Please give us a reason. When Iran threatened to, when Iran came out against Europe, because Europe, like I said at the beginning of the show, Europe threatened to reimpose sanctions under the JCPOA against Iran, which doesn't make any sense because the US pulled out of JCPOA. And it's because Iran they refuse to come to the table and talk about a nuclear weapons program that doesn't fucking exist and how they're going to dismantle the program that doesn't exist. And simultaneously, Europe has absolutely nothing to say to Israel, who absolutely has nuclear weapons and everybody knows it. And Iran's like, yeah, we're going to pull out the NPO. We dare y'all. Please reimpose the sanctions. Give us a reason. We're tired of this game. Y'all know y'all remember when I did that hotspot? Y'all notice how everybody quiet about it now. Them sanctions have not been brought back up. Them sanctions have not been brought back up. No one is talking about them shits anymore. Because they're like, because Iran, they've been able to rely on Iran's restraint. They've relied confidently on Iran's restraint. And when Iran comes out and said, because every time Iran has threatened something, they have carried it out. Whenever Trump assassinated Soleimani and Iran came out, so here's what the fuck's gonna happen. We about to attack here, 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 here. We're gonna give your people enough time to leave so that there's not any casualties. And if you let it be, it will be. But if you carry on, we will handle our business. Sound like a deal to y'all? Good? Cool. Bop, bop, bop. Trump was like, okay, cool, we're good. We're done. We're going to let that. Okay. This time, whenever Israel attacked, Iran busted their ass. U.S. came to help. Yeah, they got a couple of their buildings, set them back a couple of months on their nuclear energy programs. But then Iran said what? So here's what's going to happen. We're going to retaliate here. We're going to make sure that y'all can't attack from those locations again. If you don't attack us, we will consider this meeting or this situation done. If you do, got something for your ass. What happened? Bop. What did Trump say? Oh, okay, I think we're good here. I think we're all done. I think we're straight. No. Because you said that you could whoop Iran's ass and y'all had all this smoke for them, right? What happened? They attacked y'all. Attack them back. Yeah, we good, man. We good. Why? Because if Iran threats, if they threaten you, it's not a threat. They're telling you what we're going to do to your ass. And they managed to consistently carry out every threat that they have made against their enemies. So when Iran's like, we will pull out this motherfucking NPT, build nuclear weapons, and put pause on you if y'all even think about sanctioning us again. What do you think that really means? It means exactly what they say. They have never bluffed. Iran doesn't do bluffing. It is not in their nature. There's no history of them bluffing. They will spell out their plans for you, carry the plans out, dare you to do something about it. And Maduro, to be frank, is damn near in the same category. He hasn't had to have as much. They have, obviously he doesn't have to deal with like Israel. But as far as the U.S. is concerned, he made it clear that if the U.S. tries anything, like what time it was, he's like, yeah, no, we ready to scrap right now, bro. Like Maduro, Think about it, bro. They have 4 million militia. When I had to double check, I had to double back. And like, did he say 4 million? Did he mean 400,000? No, this 4 million militia is insane, dog. That is not a number that you can lie about. I think there's what, like 20, 25 million people in Venezuela? I can't remember the population. Let me check real quick. So the population of Venezuela is 30 million. 4 million people that can be called on a dime to go bust said ass that is coming to try to, that is insane. And I absolutely believe him. Why? Because in order for Maduro to still be in power, he has had to have that many people. They have the majority. He has the majority support. And they have shown that they're willing to sacrifice, that they're willing to fight, and literally willing to take up arms, even if they have minor disagreements with Maduro, to protect their country against the empire. 4 million people that have literally been waiting for y'all to show up at the doorstep. I'm not going to fight them. Anybody who is that ready to go, that TTG, for those of you who don't know, that means train to go. Anybody that TTG, you don't want to go to their house to go seeking out problems with them, because motherfucker, that's the type of person that sits in front of the TV on YouTube training, waiting for that opportunity for you to give them a reason. Just wait. Don't be the guy. And the US right now is trying to be the guy.